Abusia Ghana Mampani, His Excellency John Mahama, and our Bedru University of Professional Studies, UPSA campus, I say, na near Koswaha, and it's a Ghana National Association of Teachers, I Trinity, a friend and not. There, and Fiano, in sheer Muaya, no mataye, na womu woman penny for I do mano, in fear your manimuno. Nay, and a woman day as she shall so many day, no more shall say the Anagana Mampani, won't mean teacher for mu, if it's almost to inside friend, and intino, or bebuamo, no more to me, ebiano, kama, strong quite so, and son afi, womo, I hear your campaign after one day or more election, no as such as a shall so, and the 7th Quadrennial National Delegates Conference, and Ghana Mampani, Wabedunto her. Nyeshan na franka esiso a ehim frafrafrafra no mampania ba bedu abusua ha Ghana News TV so no anigo a ohwe ne medin ene na nase fa hno bobo masho se ne ndi kan ba ahwe me a na wa subscribe ne wa share dem amsan so na se wo amanoni na so send diska ba fia so wo UK wo Europe ana se wo US ana Canada bo modi and download LemFi sisi a ne fa send diska bro my Ghana mu na so benya rate da form na fe be wi ase ombesa che wa chede no wo download LemFi app na bo news ehjem as referral code wanya kwanya atimi enjoy busu Ghana Mampani NAC form no na wo hwese ne a yede manfo gene tata gene baba ne yoyo a nika yenko na yenhwe ne ntie ne ekoso e wa hasen adwenkyira mpanifo ekyere ne ma ehia mu nyina wo muka ekyere wo
The President of the Republic of Ghana is with us. Oh, please clap, clap. It's a bomb. Thank you. We'll keep sounding. The military band will sound the anthem for us. Thank you very much. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you very much. Honorable members, at this point, we are going.
If I were you, Mr. President, I'd be worried. A time will come when you call Mr. Musa, you'll be talking about your problems with unions, because the teachers are fast becoming employers. So if you hear a union striking against somebody, don't think it is you. It may be the teachers' fund. I'm very grateful and honored by the teachers, Ghana National Association of Teachers, for giving me the honor of chairing this. I thought the national president of GNAT was here. He should have been here to welcome us for the opening session. But I thank you very much for paying respect to my age and making me chair for this occasion. The theme the teachers have selected for this 54th anniversary Delegates Conference as you notice, is education, development, and then building the profession and the unions. Everybody knows and is now accepted that education is what drives and powers national progress. After all, it is human capital that drives things. I've always said that when we say Ghana, we are rich, there's a lot of gold and so forth. The monkeys were sitting on it before we came, but they didn't know what to do with it. And education is very important, and I always say that in this world, when a teacher stretches out a hand to a little child, the whole world, the nation becomes richer and safer, because that child's God-given talents will be strengthened and honed in for development for the country. Mr. President, I'm happy and grateful you are here, that whenever the teachers call you, you don't send just anybody. Some people will not even send the Minister for Education, they will send somebody else. But I don't want to praise you too much, because the way we started with your boy, and then everybody cheering, in my party we don't say your boy, we say something else. And I don't want us to lose the support of some of the teachers. The way you are going now, you will take about 80% of the teachers' vote, and we don't want that. Honorable Minister for Education, and through you, honorable ministers who have accompanied the President, chief executives, and of course, let me pay respect also and acknowledge the current president of NAT, and I see NAT is always interesting. They always have formidable women, always either as vice chairs or as vice presidents or presidents. And Madam Philippa Larson is here. She was dancing enthusiastically. And through you, to all the former president, Madam Baden, and through you, the indefatigable General Secretary. I call him Thomas Abebio. He's a reincarnation of T.A. Bediako. Madam Irina Danusa, Paul Osei-Mensah. Paul was more of a general than a secretary. Globally, first class, and globally, second to none. Not the best in Africa, not the best in West Africa, but globally, second to none. Let me end my introductory sense by telling you about a Nigerian who went to India first for prostate cancer. Didn't work. He went to Germany, where the doctors are the best. Didn't work. Went to the US. They couldn't find it all. He came here. We have a PET scan machine. The germs were not only in the prostate, they are developed into the hips. The PET scan identified that, and he was cured. I know you teachers, when you say it, you do it. And Mr. President, if you think you are governing a difficult country, then you haven't seen the people who manage the teachers. Teachers are all pocket lawyers. And if you talk to their leadership, they keep insulting them. So to be a leader of NAT, you have to have thick skin. Thank you very much for giving me the honor of chairing. I accept it, and we go.
To Ghana's eminent cardiologist, Dr. Frimpong Boateng, President Mahama and myself were also aware of your deep thoughts on galamsey. Feel free to share with President Mahama what. Unlike the previous government, where your recommendations were dismissed in limine, this time it will be tolerated and accommodated to help the president reset and succeed in an effort in fighting galamsey to protect our water bodies and improve the quality of the air that we breathe. Of NAT, Reverend, thanks for those warm words, General Secretary Musa. You know, my task this morning is a simple one. Once you've heard the keynote from the minister's technical advisor, he would have advised me to speak on those matters. So he makes my work very easy. To come and introduce our special guest of honor and how lucky you are today, I'm sure President Excellency John Mahama is beginning his new year in earnest, joining you today at this NAT conference to discuss education and development, the GES 50, reflecting, reviewing, revising, and growing the profession. If I had my way, I would have reviewed the team and borrowed President Mahama's reset after reflecting and reviewing, then reset and growing the profession and the unions. But since I do not have your permission to do that, let me assure you that Excellency John Mahama will reset pensions with a revision of Act 7th to respond to some of the institutional and administrative challenges confronting its implementation and to improve, if he can, what will become the lump sum in order to guarantee post-retirement security. I know, NAT President, when you started your Choboi, one of the unique features of President John Mahama is his incredible mental acuity. The president turned and said, Harun, now he's in a Choboi labor. He's now in the Choboi labor mood. So the president recognizes when you want to send strong messages, when you use the words, we demand. The president heard you very well, we demand. So since I do not intend to make a formal remark, just to assure you that the outcome of the West African Senior Secondary Certificate exam was worrying and of concern to the President, the Ministry of Education, and to all of you. So let me now address you as brothers and sisters and to challenge you that the outcome of WASI, does that reflect the quality of our teachers or the quality of our teaching? How can we improve the performance of our students? But I'm reliably and adequately informed that much of the crisis of the poor performance had to do with the application of knowledge to real life situations, interpreting information critically, reasoning through unfamiliar problems, and express ideas clearly and coherently. So much of the difficulty had to do with students' understanding of matters relating to application, not to blame Excellency John Mahama and the Ministry of Education for the poor performance of our students. All of us should not lose sight of the lack of adequate contact hours between teachers and students arising out of the introduction of the double track system and its consequences generally on the quality of provision of secondary education. Now it's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the fine gentleman of our republic who is resetting Ghana not only in the enterprise of the economy, at least Uncle Kwame, the John Mahama economists, whatever it is in terms of price stability, inflation, macroeconomics, and even GDP, is better than the previous. On that note, I have the singular honor and privilege to introduce to you the President of the Republic, President John Mahama, to address GNAT 50th Quadrennial Congress. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Warrior said, this is gungulum, 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 gung. This is Ghana News TV. The time is 6 o'clock. Let me follow. Ghana.
So send this cafe amanoni aba Africa ha. Use LemFi. Say ye fear wo pese won tono. Use LemFi. E dan ya na say japade a wani da so a wo pese oto wa Africa ha no. Use LemFi. So wo send this sika ama odofo e de aboa no wo Africa ha. Use LemFi. Sanso e na say uti obi school fees ama no a. Use LemFi. Yenti American for LemFi ama on say utimi send this ka e fa LemFi so a e ma ni begu bank account mu. Sanso e na timi begu mobile money account mu. Eno achi nso no de bia LemFi e wo daily rate a e ma hu sika dodo a wo send a wo benya. LemFi e secured na wo send this ka enche na nipa wo send ama no ne nsa aka. LemFi wo USA, Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Portugal, and France. What the LemFi send this car? Untu ahwe. Bomadian they use me code NEWS News. Na say any day they can register or LemFi so a unya bonus. Sanso and use to chance so a ye wo bonuses ahodo a ye de ma.
Thank you. Hey. Thank you. I don't want to get you in trouble with Uncle Kwame PNM. Thank you very much. Let me thank our elder statesman and chairman of this occasion for the motivational speech that he gave us at the beginning of this event, and to acknowledge the Minister of Education and the Deputy Minister, also the Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment, and our keynote speaker, Professor Katie Odro, who's the technical advisor to the Minister, to also acknowledge Professor Frimpong Boateng, former Minister of State and renowned cardiothoracic specialist, National President and Executives of NAT, Executive of TUC, my comrade Joshua and his team, delegates and members of NAT, stakeholders from the education sector, our friends from the media, and the invited guests. Before I go into my speech itself, I will just make a few comments based on the demands that were made by my comrade. He read the speech and he acknowledged all the good, positive things. Then when he got there, he said, and now we demand. And I said, he's gone into the union mode. But we're covered, so we understand when the Choboi message starts coming. But I mean, very legitimate issues that he raised. I remember that a single spine was introduced by the President Kufuor government. Negotiations are taking place, and it had not been concluded when Professor Mills won, and I came in as his vice president. And just before the Kufuor administration left office, they threw a lump some increment and dump the single spine on us. But Comrade Joshua and all his colleagues, Professor Ba and all of Dr. Ba and all of them, decided that they said, no, we're not going to accept it. We'll negotiate with the new government. And so it took quite a while for the negotiations to take place. But eventually, we managed to get a spine that was working. It was not exactly straight, a bit crooked, but at least everybody got something, you know. And so we started paying the arrears and all that, and we managed to get through all that before we left office in 2016. Since then, a few things have happened. The spine is very crooked now, and everybody is unhappy. Everybody is unhappy with the spine. And so, of course, TUC raised it with us and asked if we could look at the whole salary structure again. And I can say that we're very willing to do that so that we're able to remunerate people better so that they can give off their best in terms of what we ask them to do. President also raised the issue of dedicated funding for basic education. I think it's very important. Currently, we have earmarked funding in the GET fund for senior high school. And so it looks like senior high school has funding available and ready whenever it's needed. Unfortunately, basic is not the same. Capitation grant has been in arrears for several quarters. And so teaching and learning at the basic level is suffering. And it is exactly at that level that critical learning takes place, at least in literacy, numeracy, and critical thinking. And that prepares the child for, subsequent education in secondary and tertiary. And so if we miss that stage, the children come out of the BECE, and when they come into secondary school and other tertiary education institutions, the material is just impossible to work with, because the basic understanding has been missed at the basic level. And so it's something that we need to think through together. Later in my speech, I'll address a few things about foundational learning. And so we need to look at that critically again. A few years ago, we did a new pension reform. Everybody was happy, tier 2, tier 3. It looks like the time has come for us to look at it again. And so again, TUC, as the leader of organized labor, raised it with us. And I told Comrade Joshua and his team that we're prepared to put together a working team to look at the whole pension reform and come up with some suggestions and see how we can improve it so that everybody is happy and feels secure going into retirement. And a safe and secure work environment is a must. Indeed, I saw that video of I think it was a maths teacher being beaten because when he was invigilating, he refused to allow our children to cheat. And they had a sense of entitlement. And so why did you not allow us to cheat? And the unfortunate thing is that the matter went to the police station, and the parents of the students went to the police, and they said they settled the matter amicably. I mean, how is that? This is assault, it's criminal, But when we inquired, the police also said, I think the teacher was compensated, so he didn't want to press charges anymore. But I said, at least the children should have been booked, they should have been taken through the legal process, and at least, if nothing at all, they should have been bonded to be of good behavior for a period of time. And then we'll believe that justice has been done. But just for parents to come and, pay a little compensation, it will encourage others to do the same. And so, as for assaults on teachers, I am with you 100%. We will deal with it. And so, it's a singular honor for me to address this distinguished gathering at the 54th National Delegate Conference of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, convened under the timely and forward-looking theme, Education and Development, the GAS at 50, reflecting, reviewing, revising, and growing the profession and the unions. This theme is both historic and strategic because it invites us to reflect on 5 decades of service by the Ghana Education Service, while challenging us to review what has worked and revise what must change, and boldly grow the teaching profession and organize labor to respond to the demands of a rapidly evolving world. Education has always been the most reliable engine of national development. Every political, social, and economic milestone Ghana has achieved carries the fingerprints of teachers. Behind every doctor, every engineer, every entrepreneur, public servant, president, like myself, stands a teacher who believed, guided, corrected, and inspired us to be who we are. Indeed, a good student is the function of a good teacher. And that is why this government places teacher welfare, professionalism, and dignity at the center of our national education strategy. This commitment is not rhetorical, it is deliberate, and we'll budget for it. In the 2025 budget, the government paid millions of cedis in teacher training allowances. We restored promotion eligibility up to the rank of director and placed over 30,000 diploma teachers who upgraded to degree status onto the appropriate salary scale. In addition, we are developing the modalities for implementing the 20% base pay incentive for teachers who work in deprived and hard-to-reach areas. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not acts of charity. They are strategic investments in quality education and national transformation. Teachers, through their unions, have also demonstrated foresight and responsibility. Today, the Ghana National Association of Teachers is recognized as the most progressive and forward-thinking trade unions in Ghana. Beyond advocacy for teachers' rights and teacher welfare, GNAT has built strong economic institutions that secure the future of its members. The Teachers Fund is widely recognized as one of the best managed workers' funds in the country. It is grounded in transparency, prudence, and long-term value creation for its members. And once again, on your behalf, we extend our appreciation to Uncle Kwame Pianim for being the father of the Teachers Fund. Through the Teachers Fund's properties and Teachers Fund financial services, GNAT has demonstrated that organized labor can combine solidarity with enterprise. Most notably, GNAT's strategic investment in Aviance Ghana, a major ground handling service provider at our international airport, shows that unions can be active players in strategic sectors of the national economy. This is a powerful example how unionism, enterprise, and national development can reinforce one another. I need not mention the several hostels GNAT has built, including your imposing national headquarters with one of the few multi-story car parks in Accra City. There are further opportunities that GNAT has taken advantage of, which is the Ghana-Sweden Medical Center that was mentioned here. And I see opportunities for us to create a partnership under the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund is going to diagnose and treat non-communicable diseases. And so the Ghana-Sweden Cancer Center is going to be a partner to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund in treating non-communicable diseases, cancers, and others. We also are looking to partner with the Ghana National Association of Teachers in the area of housing. And I remember the last time I met with the president, Uncle Kwame Pianim, and the team from GNAT. I promised you that in the budget, we're going to make available a lump sum and coordinate with GNAT, and I think you are accompanied by Republic Bank to start a housing scheme for teachers. And so this year, the Minister of Finance has put 500 million cedis in the budget. That money is going to be paid into a housing fund, a revolving fund. GNAT will put some money in, Republic Bank will put some money in, and teachers would apply, and the houses will be built in the area that you want the house to be built. And if by coincidence the house is in your area of posting, then the money you would have paid as rent to some landlord will go to paying the cost of your own house, so that when you retire, you won't go to your grandfather's house and say, this was my grandmother's room, and go fighting with your relatives. And so we're going to work out the modalities of the housing fund. This year we're putting 500. Next year we're going to put 1 billion cedis in that housing fund. Ladies and gentlemen, it is appropriate for government to deepen its partnership with GNAT further. And I'm pleased to inform you that government is actively exploring arrangements to make suitable lands available to assist the housing project that I just talked about. We're going to ask all the districts to provide land so that we can implement this housing project. And learning materials, including basic textbooks, non-payment of capitation grants, poor teacher retraining and quality, inadequate school infrastructure, have resulted in a situation where students graduate from the basic level with weak skills in numeracy, literacy, and critical thinking. We must therefore strengthen foundational learning in our basic schools to achieve better outcomes in later years of study at the secondary and tertiary levels. The National Education Consultative Forum held in Ho in February last year discussed many of these challenges and set them out in its final report. Government intends to implement the recommendations outlined in the report over the next 3 years. While the free senior high school policy has expanded access, we must be honest, access without quality is incomplete progress. The double track system, though a temporary response to capacity constraints, has reduced teacher contact hours and strained teachers and both teachers and infrastructure. We're therefore taking decisive action. The 2026 budget marks a clear turning point. The government is committing substantial resources to upgrading 30 Category C SHS schools to Category B schools. We're also expanding facilities in Category B and Category A schools in order that they have adequate space for more children. We're also completing 30 abandoned E-blocks all over the country to increase capacity in secondary schools, including building new community day schools, E-blocks, in high-density population areas so that students can live at home and easily get to school. These will be high-quality schools, but the students, because they are in the urban population, do not need to go and stay on campus. They can commute to school every day, and they'll still get their one hot meal in the afternoon. We're also constructing 200 kindergartens, 200 primary schools, and 200 junior high schools in all districts of the country. This is from the Government of Ghana budget. There's also a budget that the district assemblies have, and they are supposed to build 2 senior high schools, 2 basic schools every year, including kindergartens. And so this is from the Ministry of Education budget, but there's also a budget for the District Assembly's Common Fund. And then under the Teacher Dabre, we are building 400 4-unit teacher bungalows nationwide. This is a start. And these are going to be built especially in the rural areas, so that teachers who are posted in the rural areas at least can find a place to lay their heads. This is just a beginning. We're going to increase the numbers over the next few years so that every teacher can get a place to stay and give off their best in their schools. In addition, millions of curriculum-based textbooks are going to be distributed, and schools and educational directorates will receive buses, pickup trucks, and administrative vehicles. Indeed, the procurement of the vehicles is beginning. There are 200 buses for secondary schools and other schools, and then pickups for headmasters and the administrations to be able to carry out their duties. This will strengthen teaching, supervision, and accountability. In addition, we're procuring 2 million steel dual desks. We want to permanently end the pitiful sight of children sitting on stones or lying on their stomachs to read or write, especially in rural schools. And we estimate that about 2 million steel dual desks will make sure that every Ghanaian child in every school will have a desk to be able to sit on in dignity and write or read. In 2025 alone, the free SHS program received 3.5 billion Ghana cedis under the GET fund. This has been the highest allocation since its inception, and this has strengthened logistics, feeding, and learning conditions in our secondary schools. I'm pleased to announce that about 100 double-track schools have already reverted to single track. And the government remains firmly committed to abolishing the double-track system entirely through a focused 2-year intervention, which we call the Ghana Secondary Learning Improvement Project, GSLIP. This project will improve access and quality and restore full-time schooling for all students. And so this year and next year are the implementation years. And by the time we finish implementation, there will be no secondary school implementing double track in this country. We've all been shocked by the poor outcome of the last WASI. There has been a culture of silence surrounding the widespread cheating in our exam halls across the country. Heads of schools who are required to provide a performance bond to achieve a 100% pass rate have either looked on or turned a blind eye to examination malpractices. All this has been done to embellish the performance of certain batches of SHS graduates to make some people look good. Well, the chickens have come home to roost. This shows that choosing expediency over effectiveness can only be a temporary veneer and will eventually be exposed. Cheating in exams is corruption, and it is sad to encourage our children to be corrupt at such an early stage in their lives. Ethical integrity is key to their future. We will not give up strict invigilation, and therefore we must implement the reforms that equip our students to be able to enter the exam hall with confidence and pass their exams through diligent study and schoolwork rather than by cheating. And I pledge that we will work with you, the teachers' associations, to make sure that we're able to achieve these reforms. At the tertiary level, there are several initiatives being implemented. Our no-fee stress initiative have removed financial barriers for first-year students. Of the 178,745 who were enrolled this year, 152,698 were successfully validated and reimbursed by the Student Loan Trust Fund. Parliament has also passed the Scholarship Authority Bill, and this reform will end cronyism and political interference in the award of scholarships. It will promote transparency and fairness, and it will align scholarships with Ghana's national skills and development priorities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, we've emerged from a period of severe economic crisis. Our economy has severely been buffeted by a debt crisis and macroeconomic instability, which is characterized by high inflation and a weakening currency. While prudent management of the economy has yielded positive results, there's still much work to do. We've increased educational spending in 2026 by 10% over the 2025 levels. And yet still this amounts to 3.1% of GDP. And this falls short of the minimum 4% recommended by UNESCO. We'll continue to increase education spending over the next 3 years to meet the UNESCO target. However, every cedi allocated to education must be spent efficiently in order that we realize the full value of our investment. And one of the ways we want to increase educational funding is the Constitution says that the District Assembly's Common Fund should be between 5% and 8% of gross national revenues. During the last government, they reduced it from 7.5% at the end of 2016 to 5%. And so it's our intention to increase it by 1% every year over the next 3 years so that we can build it back to the 7.5 or 8%. Now, I want to allocate that extra 3% that goes to the district assemblies to the education and health sectors. And once we do that, we'll be able to hit the UNESCO target of 4% dedicated funding for the education sector. We've emerged from a dark period of oppression in our educational sector. Many school heads were sacked or transferred for speaking up when things were not going well. And yet the best way to grow our education sector is through transparency, freedom of speech, and even criticism where necessary. As president, I can assure you that I'll protect your right to speak up and to point out when things are not going well. My comrades and friends, as we mark 50 years of the Ghana Education Service, let us recommit to a renewed partnership between government, teachers, and organized labor. The future of education in Ghana will not be built on budgets alone, but on trust, dialogue, professionalism, and shared responsibility. I wish the Ghana National Association of Teachers a successful conference and look forward to the resolutions that will shape the next chapter of our education delivery, teacher professionalism, and unionism in our country. God bless Ghana's teachers, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. I thank you.
Round of applause for our president, for the President of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. President, we are grateful. We are grateful for the wonderful message. God bless our home. Are we ready to go?
So we send this cafe amanoni aba Africa ha use LemFi. Say ye fear wo pese wo nto use LemFi. Edan ya na say japade a wani da so a wo pese oto wa Africa ha no use LemFi. So we send this sika ama odofo e de aboa no Africa ha use LemFi. Sanso e na say wo tie obi school fees ama no a use LemFi. Nyenti a make come for LemFi ama on say utimi send this sika e fa LemFi so a e ma ni begu bank account mu sanso e na timi begu mobile money account mu. Eno achi nso no de bia LemFi e wo daily rate a e ma hu sika dodo a wo send a wo benya. LemFi e secured na wo send this car enche na nipa wo send ama no ne nsaka. LemFi wo USA, Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Portugal, and France. What the LemFi send this car? Untu ahwe. Bomadian they use me code NEWS news. Na say any day they can register or LemFi so a unya bonus. Sanso and use to chance so a ye wo bonuses ahodo a ye de ma.
Menu makwekwe sa sempa kania. Semenam na meti asempa na mo amane a na ma no keka me. Anyam bia what ANS Trading Agency Limited nka. Sa wo ka say door to door for no de na watwa. Esanse obi ne wa wo say won wo sa door to door business nim. Wo nneoma wo UK a wo de ko Ghana. Ana say Germany a wo de ko Ghana. 3 to 5 weeks e be kwa kodu nipa ne pono anu say try. Na de mo demonstration ko wo say adwuma de we mu ne say wo ho bo no. E da form say boko. ANS Trading Agency Limited. E wo air freight special service. Ano nneoma ne ye de be fa play. Entintempa na akwa kodu. Obetima fa sa pra we also the nneoma free Ghana, akwa UK and Germany. FAGG them, which na also agina ye. Na men drop bomb. ANS Trading Agency Limited pe and a 40-footer any 20-footer container. Ye for UK ediko Ghana and Germany ediko Ghana. Omo manuoma yemre. Import to export to them there for you. Omo Ghana na money 0249 170 423. UK has over free 0790 802 7527. Germany 09173 771 2733. Ubenya ANS Trading Agency Limited. Our West Croydon ANS Trading Agency Limited. Quantum Brantam. Wana beboya baso. Maybe next time in your fill up from the bebro.